Congratulations on being named coach. Were you missing it?
Oh, definitely, Andrew. Yeah, definitely missing it. Not initially in October, November, and January, but in December. But yeah, when February, March came around, and I could see a lot of teams training when you're driving around the streets, I started to have itchy feet, and but I knew I'd made the right decision. It's good pre-season after doing 10 pre-seasons in a row as a coach. It takes a bit out of you, so it's been nice to have a break from a pre-season.
Onto the under-19 squad. How much involvement did you have in the selection?
Yeah, a heck of a lot, obviously. I got around to probably 2 halves of footy each weekend from round 1 onwards. Occasionally 3 games when there was a Sunday game at Alsmith Park. Had good correspondence with the under-23 coach Ben Robinson. We put together a list of all under-19 players that are playing senior footy in any grade, and we got a good list in the spreadsheet of those guys. Spoke to a lot of coaches on the phone, and from there, yeah, we picked a squad of about 48 players. And from that 48, a couple of ineligible due to going away on holidays, because it's uni holidays, school holidays at the moment, so there's a few away for that, and there's a few long-term injuries. So we got the squad to about 41, then we cut it to 30 last Wednesday, and then after the weekend's games, we've just cut it again to 24.
Who's had to make the tough calls calling the boys?
Oh, me. I've made a lot of phone calls, and yeah, that's the most awkward part of anything, you know, because you want to give them some feedback, and that's been the difficult thing, is when you only get to see some of them for a half of footy and 2 little training sessions. It's really difficult because they're very good players, all of them, but the bottom line came down to what spot they could play in for this side, and how many players there were vying for that spot, and unfortunately a couple of them, you know, were 3rd or 4th in line for a spot on the wing or a spot at centre forward. So it came down to just the balance of the whole side. And, yeah.
It's very different, obviously, having the boys for a few sessions. How much of a game plan do you try and implement, or do you just try and implement that you use their skills and the players in the right position?
The 2 main things I'm drumming into them, and we'll do it again tonight at training, is number 1 is team bonding. Got to get them. The number 1 thing is getting them to know each other as quick as possible and learn about each other, and actually want to enjoy each other's company, and that'll reflect in the game if they know each other and want to sort of play for each other. That's the hardest bit of all. So that's number 1. So I've been doing just little team activities for the whole training sessions, just little things, just working in teams of 6 to 8 and making them work together and at least know one team. First team, sitting down, boots on, laced up, wins the prize. Go! What's juice for them? The second thing I'm after, I suppose, we start this week is a bit of team cohesion. So a few little rules of how we want to play on the weekend. And you don't have the time to go out and train full on for it, but we're going to present a couple of basic rules we want them to follow and structures, so see how they go with that. You're
obviously familiar with some of the players that you would have coached last year, but how do you know the other players? Are you familiar with their style of play other than the games that you've just watched them in?
Yeah. The best feedback I got was from coaches themselves. Ringing a senior coach, I haven't had to do that over the years, and they're really good with their feedback, you know, and they're upfront, they're honest. They're telling you the weaknesses of the kid as well as his strengths, and they're just very open and honest. And I found that was a really good learning curve too. You guys, well done. You're into the last 25. So I'll be really honest up front with you. 3 of you, unfortunately, aren't going on after tonight.
Finally, the VCFL, have you seen much of them, or do you know much about their side?
It's funny, the side came out yesterday. I had it emailed to me, so I've got the list of 22. I've even done my homework in terms of I've been into all their websites, seen how many goals they've kicked, how many times they've been named in the best, so I've got a bit of a range. Notice that there's 3 boys that have kicked around 20 goals each this season, and that's about it, whereas we've got about 5, so we've got a bit of power on our forward line. They've got 3 that look like they've been having good years on the forward line, so we can have a look out for those guys. And you get a little pen description of each of them, so you sort of know if they're a small or a midfielder, and that the description tells you a little bit about them. And plus there was 2 in there I actually know. One I coached last year at St Bede's. He played with us, but he's moved back to Sale, so he's now made the rep team, but he's a Sale boy. That's Scott Pendlebury's brother, Ryan Pendlebury, so he'll be playing for the countryside.
Best of luck on Sunday afternoon.
Thank you very much, Andrew.
Cheers.